Hey everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is Champurrado coming at you live from the internet. Before we start, we just want to say that the jokes we make are not meant to hurt or discriminate against anyone. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and we should love one another for our own individualism. We live in a cruel, unadulterated world during abnormal times, and the only way for us to get through it is with humor. Thanks for listening to our project, and thanks for vibing. Enjoy.
Yo, what's good? Welcome to What's Cooking in the Kitchen with me, Brown Sugar, also known as B.S, and my co-host, Champurrado, also known as CH, handling the heat so you don't have to.
Today, we're joined by our friend Chasen Green, and we're talking about chivalry, whether or not it's dead, and how toxic masculinity has infected our lives. Yes, infected. Yes, so hello. We would like to welcome our friend Chasen Green back to the show. As you may or may not know, he was on our interracial dating episode, also known as Chasing White Chocolate, which is a playoff with Chasen Green. How you doing, Chasen?
All good. Can't complain too much. Last day at Wingstop today. Thank God for that. Jesus.
This man work at Wingstop?
Was it Wingstop and then there's no deals? That's janky.
This man worked 60 hours a week for the past 2 months.
Oh,
That man putting in work. That man.
That's more than
paper. He said,
Yeah,
I'm taking money.
That's paper.
This summer I've been chasing green.
All right, Chasen. All right. So today we wanted to get the master of everything chivalrous and everything that someone that's knowledgeable on both toxic masculinity and chivalry, and we wanted to get their input on everything. So Chasen, I got a little question for you, man. When it comes to chivalry in the new world, what does that look like? What's up with chivalry? What's going on nowadays, man? People opening doors for women. What's going on?
I think it's kind of changed since, I guess you could say, the older times when chivalry was simply just putting your coat over a puddle, maybe, escorting a girl, like opening the door first. I think it's evolved because I don't think there was enough respect towards women in the past. Like, it wasn't as balanced, It wasn't as balanced. So now we're trying to figure out what that balance is in society. And I don't think men should stop, opening the doors for girls and like holding their jackets and being kind and respectable. But I don't know. That balance is something that we need to ask like women. We need to ask them what chivalry would look like for them, what they would want from us. Because if we keep throwing out these ideas without taking into consideration their perspective and their wants and needs, then it's just going to be like the past where we weren't respecting them, I think.
Very strong answer from Chasen Green.
That was very strong. That was a very strong answer. I agree with to an extent that we should ask for exactly like what they want or whether or not they want us to be chivalrous in a way, due to the fact that in today's society a lot of people want to be independent. A lot of women want to be independent, and from what I have seen, like considering like having sisters and all that stuff, from what I've seen, it's when a man asks to be chivalrous or when he wants to act in that way, and they're not even to that stage yet in just a relationship, or whether or not they know each other like that in a friendship, there can be some problems. There could be that sense of apprehension between them, between the dude, due to the fact that they want to be independent. They want to do things on their own. They don't need a man to hold their hand. They don't need a man to be there all the time. Personally, I'm really old school in that regard, like opening doors for people and like, just being there and paying for the meal and all that stuff. And that's I was raised off of those principles, but I guess in today's society, it's acceptable, but you also have to keep in mind that it's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot more balance now, I think. In terms of like, I feel in a sense, it's like the guy can be chivalrous, but I guess women also have their own forms of chivalry, and you have to accept that if you're more of an old school type of person. Because I
Yeah.
know for me, my mom, I think she taught me more about chivalry than my pops did, just because in today's world, sometimes you got to be a little bit more meaner in terms of how you handle a relationship. But my mom's was always kind of like deeply rooted in the old school ways. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So I
true.
was always more respectful towards women in that way. Yeah.
Sure. And I guess that I guess to jump off from that, I think there's an extent or there's a distinction between being chivalrous and in today's society being a simp.
Ooh, a simp.
Ooh,
A simp.
What is a simp? Hold up.
So, according to the Urban
I
Dictionary,
was just about to go there. I said, man, let me read it off.
according to the oh, you want to read it? You want to read it?
Allow me, CH. Let me put on my
Sorry.
reading glasses for this.
Okay, go ahead.
A simp is a slang insult for men who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women, especially out of a failed hope of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them. The
Some
word
freak.
simp is meant to troll young men from doing anything for a girl to get some action he supposedly deserves. Oh,
Oh,
you know what?
what you think about that, Jason?
Oh,
oof, that a simp. That's a definition. Now that I have it, now that we have this definition, we can work around it and work through it,
now,
taking those
audience, during this
skills I
time, it
learned.
seems as if Chasen is sweating profusely from his forehead. Jason, do you believe
I'm
that you
sweating.
are a simp, as they call it?
Nah, nah. Nah. I could admit to used to being a simp in a sense. Like I wasn't sure about myself and wasn't sure about what I wanted for girls and like women. But nah, I I evolved. Nah,
Bruh,
100%.
bruh's a reformed simp.
He
He
said, I
said,
used to be a simp.
"Not no more."
He said, I went to rehab and now I'm a little bit more angsty, I think.
I'm a certified RN.
Oh
No,
god.
but when I look at the definition or like reading the definition of simping, um, I can agree with that. I think the word simp within itself does a very great job at pressuring men into not being sensitive around women
Mm.
and to not giving them a lot of affection and stuff like that.
Be
And
your true self.
no, well, hold on, because if you're not a simp in a way, like if you're really trying to avoid those principles, that just leads you towards a road of toxic masculinity. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And and audience, I know you can't see this right now, but our friend Brown Sugar is flexing in the mic, or he's flexing on camera.
Toxicity is king. Remember that.
No,
AB Future.
I
no,
hear.
but I think when somebody decides to try to do everything in their power to avoid being a simp and stop other people from being simps, that just shows that toxic masculinity has overpowered their mind. Um, and I mean, live your life, but at the same time, like, how do you expect to get married if you're always toxic?
You meet somebody who's equally as toxic.
You balance the other out.
What's the equivalent to toxic masculinity? Toxic femininity?
I
Is
mean,
that
I
even
think
a thing?
that's the.
I've never seen it. Actually, no, I've seen it. You
I
got to go
think
to a couple parts. It's there.
You're talking about the WAP, bro.
Oof.
the WAP.
Hey, that's not
Man,
toxic femininity. That's empowerment. That's empowerment, CH. That's
You're
what.
right. You know what? I'm sorry. You're right. That is empowerment. But when I see toxic masculinity and how it's been put into our society, I think it's kind of interesting because it really makes you it kind of worries you, but at the same time it explains why like relationships and nowadays like aren't as clear cut as they used to be. Like since when has cheating been the mainstream? Since when has cheating been normalized? You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays there'll be TikToks, there'll be internet posts, there'll be like, yeah, so my friend said that they vouched for me and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is terrible.
I'm
Like,
like, the bar is really low, I think.
it really is. Like
It's
all you got to do to all you got to do to be worth someone's time is be loyal now.
Like,
Like,
even, yeah, I was just about to say, like, personally, it's like, for me, when people consider me, because people consider me like a nice and genuine person for the most part, I don't
don't
even think
lie.
that I'm nice or genuine. I'm just not a complete a-hole. You feel me?
Not a complete
mm,
one, yeah.
And that's just considered like a pick me or something like that. And that's dumb. I don't know. And I heard you being different right there, CH. It's all right. I said, I'll remember that
Jason,
throughout the podcast.
oh, Jason, what do you think? What do you think about what do you think about the bar for dating nowadays? Like, do you think it's 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 too easy to be in a relationship nowadays, or like, what is your perspective on this? Because as we've said, toxic masculinity is like is really toxic, and I mean, of course, it goes both ways. Like, women can cheat on men, and men can cheat on women. But I think in today's society, it's more normalized that the man will cheat on the woman. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've been able to see, that's what I see. And I just want to know, like, what do you think about that? Is loyalty like all that's needed? Is the bar too low?
I think the bar is like criminally low right now. I find it stupid how basically, say you or Justin or me, our
Who's whoa?
minimum
You
like
just name
effort.
dropped.
No, no, no. Let
Ah,
me finish. Let me finish.
my cover's been blown.
I am sure, certain. I am certain right now.
Bro
The
still don't
minimum
know the error
effort.
of his ways.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The minimum effort that we will put into a relationship. All right, that is equivalent to someone's maximum. Our minimum is someone's maximum when it comes to dating. So I don't think men, it's tough. A lot of men have been treating women with the respect that they need. And I think that's because they just think the game's so easy.
Now,
I think
Chase,
toxic masculinity
do
is
you consider yourself
lower.
as a part of this group of men that does not provide for what women need?
I consider myself
Or are you
something
painting
different.
yourself as the hero?
I don't want to be a hero or a villain. I just want to be me. Fuck that. No.
He dodged the
I want to
question.
be me.
Let's press him some
You
Yeah.
dodged the question.
Yes, sir. But I don't think dating expectation is where it really should be. Like it's just lowered so much, and it's kind of sad. Like, I feel like the uh, you should date for a reason. You know, if you're dating, you should be dating, say, for marriage, like that lifelong or like long term expectancy. I think we've gotten so used to hookup culture that it's devalued what a relationship's supposed to mean, and we've put so much basic value on quick sex, hooking up with a person, not giving your full investment into their emotional stability and their emotional stability and their emotional and personal growth. If you're in a relationship, it's not going to be easy. But you're with that. You're supposed to be trying to commit to that person through the good times and the bad times. I think toxic masculinity has kind of devalued what that means in a sense. You know, like you're not with that person through the good times and the bad times, the highs and the lows, and it just makes everything so fast. Like toxic masculinity in current dating culture is just everything so fast that it's I don't know, I feel like it's pushing people to make kind of rash decisions and not actually look at their emotions, look at what they want to be, looking at what they want to do. Like decide if you're going if you before you start dating someone, decide do you want to be with this person for long term? Can you see that happening for long term? And ask yourself, what are you dating for? Are you dating for just, you know, physical pleasure, basically the sex? Or are you dating for like the emotional comfort? Are you dating because you could see this person being your significant other? Why are you dating? I don't see enough people asking those questions. Actually, this is some of the stuff that I'm going through because personally with like relationships, I had to ask myself in the past, why am I doing this? Can I see this working out? Like it's a turmoil thing because I haven't been introduced to enough chivalrous men in a sense. I haven't seen enough honor in relationships. I've had examples of what I don't want to be from a good number of the men around me.
Right.
You know, like it's just tough.
I feel that. In the term when you say that the relationships, the I thought in sorry, excuse me. In the relationships, my co-host just pointed out that our friend said men on accident when he likes women. My friend is there is nothing wrong with any type of sexuality that you may identify as, but we'd like to set the record straight. Our friend Chasen is straight.
Or heterosexual.
Heterosexual, excuse me. Yes, to be accurate. But no,
Pronouns he, him,
I like
his.
when
but to be to go a little bit further, sorry. You mentioned a lot about we date to hook up now, and I do completely agree with that. Like in the past, like what 5 years or so, I'd like to say that the possession of a side chick or a side person has become relatively popularized, which is within itself cheating. And I think that I think that
Allow me to break that tension
go
with
ahead,
an Urban Dictionary definition.
please.
A side chick
oh
defines from Urban Dictionary defines it as a female that is neither a male's wife or girlfriend who has relations with the male while he is in another relationship. The first thought that appears in mind is generally a quote-unquote homewrecker or other demeaning terms that define a woman who uses her power to dominate the mind of a man.
But men can be side chicks, not side chicks, excuse me, side pieces as well, right?
Yes. Let me go to Urban
so it's both.
Dictionary and find side dude.
But the word is not dude; it is another word.
It says a female's plan B. He is never an
Oh,
alpha
damn.
male. As an alpha male will be given automatically the place of a boyfriend once met. A guy with an ego or worthy of it never fills this role. I mean, he can't claim what he's hitting, so what's the point? You know what that sounds like? It
What?
sounds like that same definition of being a quote-unquote simp.
Yes, I agree with you. So in a way, can you say that simps are side pieces, or that because of their ego or because of how they see
Their loss
themselves?
of character.
Yeah,
They can
they're
be seen as
confident.
side pieces.
They're side pieces. Wow, it's very interesting. I'm glad
It
that
all interlocks. It all connects.
and I think that in order for us to break the cycle of being a simp, you must you can only go in two directions. So either
Yes.
you go it's rather you go the right way.
What's the right way?
The right way is going towards chivalrous
We don't know that.
behavior.
The right way is the way that works.
No, I personally don't agree with that, sir. I would like to say that the way that works is the works.
Go beyond 1,000%.
No, the way that works is the way that goes towards respecting women. Because let's face it, if you respect women and treat them like human beings, I think that's more
Then
attractive.
they'll leave you and take the side dude. Plan B. That's why toxic masculinity is key.
But okay, look, sure, but keep it. No, not sure. What am I talking about? No, look,
You've agreed to my
look,
point.
no, because look, if she keeps running to
also, I just want to make it known I'm not a toxic. I don't endorse toxic masculinity. I think it's ugly.
Nah, this man is baby future.
I'm just
this man is
around
baby future
because I want to play as devil's advocate. No, don't do that. Chasing is for surely baby
He's super
future with the
future.
messages he put out on Instagram.
Oh.
Defend your case. Put you on full blast.
It's okay, Jason. I can edit this out, man.
I got some things to say now. All right.
Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
Okay, so looking at, a side piece, a side girl,
Oh, what?
a
What?
simp.
What was that? Bleep that out.
Okay. Looking at everyone having these sides, all right? Can I say that? Looking at everyone having these sides,
Side piece meal.
it
Yeah.
seems
That toxic
like
masculinity coming out.
culture has made it the norm to have more than one option when you're supposed to be committing to one. Culture has made it so you're getting more than just the main meal. You have all these little other dishes around you. And it's normalized that when a relationship's supposed to be that one person.
Who goes to the
And
restaurant
it's
and just gets dinner?
someone who knows what the they want.
No, they
You mean
always.
to tell me you gonna go and buy a burger and not get fries with it? Or a drink?
No, no, no,
Or an
no. See, the
appetizer?
fries are part of the meal. Well, if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm ordering a meal. I don't need the rest of the because I know that I just want the meal.
You don't want no apple pie, dog?
Wait.
Who's he? Y'all just name dropping.
Oh, sorry.
Damn, y'all
Wait,
gonna have a
brown
lot of
sugar.
editing.
Wait, brown sugar. Hold on. Hey, hold on. Wait. Look, when you go to a restaurant, you order your meal, and then you order your dessert and all that stuff, right? That's all fine because that's in the same restaurant. What's not okay is
Oh, it's
going
going to
to
a different
one
restaurant.
restaurant and then going to another restaurant right after. That's
But what
not
if the fries taste better from the different restaurant?
Nah, man, bro, you gotta get your fries from the same place,
You mean
man.
to tell me you
Yeah,
don't be taking
can't be going everywhere. No.
what I be doing is I'll go to Chick-fil-A and then I'll get the fries from Popeyes because the fries from Popeyes taste better, in my honest opinion.
But here's the
They be the
thing,
Cajun fries.
that's too much money.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you
You,
gotta put in
you'd
time
be
and
surprised.
effort in order to get both things that you want.
Are you sure?
And see, that's how Baby Future
Yeah,
works.
this man's really
You gotta
thriving off.
think about it.
This man's thriving off of toxic masculinity.
I'm not thriving off of it. I've just hung around enough people to know how it works.
Oh no, I feel that though.
I said
I
most of my
feel
people
that
in my
though.
circle is toxic. I'm more of the laid back one, as they say, which still means I ain't crap. But at the same time, it's like there's a lot worse out there, and just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize when you're dating, because Chase, you said something that I thought was really interesting. Okay, when you're in that dating, in that dating stage, at least from what I've been able to see in my life, and up to this point, when you're in that dating stage, not with one particular person, but if you're just like going around on dates and getting to know people, I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with like going to multiple people. Hear me out. Say I want to hang out with my friend homegirl. That's gonna be her name. So I want to hang out with I want to hang out with my homegirl named Homegirl, and we gonna go, and we gonna go to the movies on Tuesday. But I'm gonna go ahead and specifically say, hey, look, I'm just trying to hang out. I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm not trying to do nothing serious. But then on Thursday, I got my other friend, fellow homegirl, and I'm gonna go to the movies and hang out with her. And it's nothing serious. I'm just gonna hang out and get to know her. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think what is wrong is when you're already committed to a relationship or show that you are going to be committed to somebody, and then you still continue to act as if you are single, or you act as if you continue to act like nobody is taking your whole mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like don't be like what's that song? You know that song by J. Cole, Kevin's Heart? Don't do that.
We're canceling him.
No. Canceling who?
Cancel him.
J. Cole?
Whoa.
Why are we canceling Jermaine Cole?
Because he doesn't support black women.
That is not true.
Whoa, I don't know about that, sir. Hey, we could have another conversation about that, sir.
We can
We
talk.
need to have another conversation about that, sir.
Yes, because I'm not about to let you disrespect one of my favorite rappers of all time.
This toxic masculinity is blinding.
You know whose toxic masculinity is blinding? Futures.
Hey,
Baby
that's
Futures.
the GOAT.
No, look, here's the thing.
Baby Future is you, Chase, and I don't know why you're trying to give me this title.
I think the way Future portrays himself, or how a lot of black rappers, excuse me, not even black, how a lot of rappers in today's society address themselves and address their relationships and their situations that they put themselves in, it really shows that toxic masculinity is something that's really, really thriving. Like if you look at Future, there's that
And their lyrics too. It shows in their music.
yeah. There's that
Mhm.
constant phrase, "She belongs to the streets," which initially, it's funny.
Time to do an Urban Dictionary search.
She belongs to the streets. Go ahead. Please tell me what that means, sir.
Okay. She belongs to the streets. All right. Underhand way of saying she is a quote unquote hoe that participates in quote unquote hoe activities that involve quote unquote hoeing herself around like a quote unquote hoe.
Thank you for the definition. Now, initially, when people are like, "She belongs to the streets," you would think of it as funny, but only when that case would be true. Like, you know how sometimes on TikTok or on any type of social media app, there'd be like those videos, whether or not they're fake or real, but it'll show somebody that gets ostracized or that gets put on blast for committing adultery or for as they would say, belonging to the streets. And at first, it's like, that's funny. She's haha. But then, there's a really big problem with that. It's the fact that belonging to the streets extends significantly in the eyes of the average man in today's society. That is in the know of those types of rappers and in those types of mental thought. I would almost say that Future's music is a type of philosophy. And I would say this, and do I agree with his philosophy? No, I don't. But I would say this because of the fact that because of how he portrays himself and because of the way that he brings his music to his viewers, the messages that come through his music can often really influence the way that men think about their counterparts or think about their significant others. For example, if they get cheated on, now they don't care because she belongs to the streets, as they would say. But then that goes even further because people start using it in such an extensive way that they claim that all women belong to the streets to some extent, which is within itself not okay because not all women belong to the streets. Just like how
women belong in a palace because they're queens.
Yes, just like
that's how I feel.
Just like how black men, or not black men, excuse me, how men in general can.
Nah, you had it right.
Nah, how men can belong to the streets as well. But I do think that his mentality, his type of music, does necessarily have a type of thought that stirs the pot of toxic masculinity in our culture to this day. What do you think, Jason?
I would agree. I mean, just look at that meme page that everyone follows now that I don't even have to mention, that basically idolizes Future. Y'all know the one.
What you doing following that page?
In case the audience doesn't know, Jason follows a very explicit page that offers interesting content.
And what y'all don't know is that these two follow the same one.
I follow it for research purposes.
Wait, do I? You might as well just name drop the page. It's not like we ain't gonna put a link to it in the description.
You're right. Okay. Hoodville.
I think that's
the page.
So the page is called Hoodville on Instagram and on Twitter. You can look them up. And I think the reason why I follow them, and a lot of my other friends follow them as well, both men and women, is because
it's hilarious.
It is both the lyrics and because some of the videos that they post are explicit and hilarious. However, within that post, there's that, or within that the page, he posts a lot of things that are indeed toxic.
For example, allow me to read a quote, and it features Future's face.
Go ahead.
You pray for the key to her heart. I pray for her downfall. Hoodville.
Like, that's just so bad. Like,
But it's hilarious.
When you look at it, you're like, haha, that's so funny because it's dehumanizing or it's downgrading women and all that stuff. It's funny. But when you really like look at it and listen to it and think about who sees you looking at it, it makes you realize, oh damn, I'm kind of a piece of you know what I'm saying? Because it's like that's not how you would treat women in order for them to in order to get women, you know what I'm saying? Like that's I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? I do like the lyrics the lyrics pictures though, where it shows the dude fainting. When they post the lyrics, it'd be like J. Cole said so, or like somebody said this. Can you find one of those? Do you think you can find one of
I'm
those?
about to.
Okay,
I'm researching right now.
go ahead.
No, it's really interesting how popular the page is actually, though. Like 6.3 million followers, and I think it started up maybe a year ago,
Ooh, I
less than a
found a
year
quote,
ago.
if you allow me to read it.
Yes, go ahead, and then Chasing, please continue.
Old shit calling, but I'm on the new things. She's still a dime, but I always lose change. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
Ooh, Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine Cole! Oh!
Okay, maybe he's not canceled.
Maybe he's not. Oh, wait. Nah,
Right?
go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, y'all are good. I was just saying that it's crazy how popular the freaking meme page is. And I think it's interesting in a sense because, like, you have all these men who are following the page laughing at, the obvious forms of toxicity and basic misogyny. There's a post on the page that has Future holding a Bible, well, they Photoshop Future holding a Bible, and it says Book of Misogyny. And I'm just like, damn, that's tough.
Little
But
does the
you kind
audience
of
know, Jason
devalue
has 14 copies of that book.
13, Justin. I gave one to you.
Oh!
I actually have 27 copies of that book, but that's a discussion for another day.
That's because the man is the master of toxic
And stop
masculinity.
name dropping me.
and I have the book of Chivalry, John Legend.
That's a goddamn lie.
That's false. He has a Book of Misogyny version too.
Stop name
He's got it
dropping.
before
Stop
both of
name
us.
dropping.
CH may not have a book, but you should check his DMs.
Oh wow! If you look into my DMs, you will see that it is as dry as the Sahara Desert.
It's about as dry as a bottle of Aquafina.
Hey man, look.
It's so messy. It's so...
I can definitely tell you that it is dry as the Sahara Desert. It's as dry as somebody's throat after eating 2 Popeyes biscuits.
Chasing.
Yeah. What's happening? I have a meme. I have a meme. Have y'all ever watched Dragon Ball Z Bridge?
I actually
Have y'all
haven't.
ever watched Dragon Ball Z Bridge?
I've seen
you ever seen it?
Go ahead.
This is a quote that will basically summarize what a lot of men feel. I feel like a man dying of thirst while watching another man drown. End quote.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Motherfucker. I feel like a man dying of thirst while watching another man drown.
and I think that's true because there are a lot of men out here that have to resort to being a simp and are unfortunately unsuccessful with their abilities to actually find mates, and it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. But then there are those other individuals that somehow don't necessarily treat women with the respect they deserve, yet somehow they are they have quote unquote game, which within itself doesn't make sense to me because toxic masculinity is based upon dehumanizing women in a way, which within itself is wrong. Because let's think about it like this: if your mom saw not like if any of y'all moms saw, or if any of their mothers saw them talking and saw how they were being toxic, how do you think they'd feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like I have to think about that sometimes. Like, what would your mom say if you were acting some sort of way? Like my mom has been a part of my life for my entire life, and she's always been there. And my mom has taught me, along with my sisters and some other female figures in my life, how to respect women. And within itself, I think that not treating women with respect is basically a middle finger to those women figures in your life. And to go even further, like I'll give you an example. Using the B word, like when you call a woman a B word, I don't know.
Chasing.
I
What are you talking about? Wait a minute.
he's just kidding. Chasen doesn't do that. He's just kidding. But I can't think of a couple of our other friends that do drop the B word quite often. And it makes me think. I know you can't see this, but Brown Sugar looks like he's about to explode.
I know who are you talking about, my friend.
But it's interesting to see that some of our particular friends that do use the word so often, that you do use the B word quite often, they'll simply say, "I respect women. I love women. Women are great," but then continue to drop the B word as if it wasn't a triggering and very rude word to use to label women as. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just, it feels like it's fake support at that point.
It really does, and it's like I personally, I wasn't raised off of using that word. I don't know.
They just don't sound right.
Nah. Okay. I was leaving the. I'll tell you this. I was leaving the club one time. For the first time, actually, when I went to the club for the first time, from that one club in the OC that's nasty, or not nasty, but you said
No,
it's
it's nasty.
you said it stank. But
It's dang.
we got in the car and I was with one of my friends. His name is Eddie, and my friend Eddie had said something, and his friend that was with him said, "Oh yeah, there were some fine B words in there," and in my head, I was like, "Oh, yeah," because I wanted to be like, "Oh, there were some very fine women in there. There were some women that were very attractive in there that I
There were
wanted
yet some very attractive women
that I
in
wanted."
the establishment.
Yes, there were very attractive women in the establishment. That's how you should put it nicely. But at the same time, like when you see them say that, you kind of think like, "Yo, when did that become normalized? How did that become normalized?" And then you look at like what they listened to. You look at where they were raised, or like what they were raised on, like where they were raised. Like, do they say that often? Because I know my dad doesn't use the B word. I know he doesn't. I know my mama doesn't. I know most of my friends don't. Notice how I said most.
Yep.
But at the same time, I know a lot of people that listen to music that regulates how often people say the B word, say the N word, like the verbiage that is used, or the phrases that are used within music nowadays can be seen to alter our lingo in a way and cause us to speak similarly to them. Because I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what happens with Caucasian American folks when they want to say the N-word, because they hear people say it all the time in the rap songs and on television, all that stuff, and they want to be like us, and so they use it. And that same mentality can be used towards men that use the B word. If you see where I'm coming from.
No, I definitely see where you're coming from. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Put them on blast. I said, say a couple names if you want to. But no, I definitely hear you on that.
I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, because then I ain't gonna have no more friends.
That'd be tough.
Nobody has respect for anybody anymore.
I think in order
Chivalry.
in order for us to give respect,
Honor.
in order for us to give respect to somebody, we need to really personally develop a relationship with them nowadays. And I think that personally, in my mindset, I think that everyone deserves your respect until they've proven that they don't deserve it. Because I know a lot of people are like, you got to earn disrespect, but at the same time, I think disrespect is supposed to be earned as well. Because if I see you treating me a certain type of way, and it's not cool, and you're continuously doing this despite the respect that I give you, then I don't agree with that. Then I don't have respect for you. But it's so interesting to see how quick people are, especially men in our society, black men, how quick we are to disrespect women, and particularly black women.
I mean, it just happened recently with a couple celebrities. We could name drop them, but it's something that frequently occurs, I think, and especially in a domestic way too. Like, we see it a lot, and it's really sad to see.
Yeah, truly. I don't want to. Yeah, like, we don't even have to name drop, because we can probably name more than 3 cases of this happening.
Yep.
In our society. Like, one happened recently, one happened back when we were kids, and then there was another one that happened
way back.
Yeah, way back. Like
OJ,
yeah.
as in orange juice.
Oh my god.
Oh,
not an orange juice, but you know what
OJ
I mean.
was like, oh, never mind.
What were you saying, Jason?
I was literally thinking about the OJ case. I'm just like, he killed his wife, but she wasn't black. Granted, she was a woman.
We don't know that.
I mean, yeah,
we don't know that.
We don't know that.
The case says otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But the streets say something else.
Yeah, he got off not guilty. And yes, I do think that OJ did kill his wife. He's out
I don't
now?
think.
He
definitely did.
He did it. He wrote a book about it.
He did. He said, if I didn't do it, but if I were to, this is how I would have done it.
It's like, I'm mad that they didn't investigate like how he did it, but at that point, I guess it's too late.
It's like, let's just read about how he did it. But besides that, I think it's important. I think it's important for us to realize that the disrespect that we have in our society that reinforces the patriarchy that we have is caused by how we've been brought up, and is also caused by our environmental factors. It can be music, it can be our television, it can just be the people that are in our society that teach us who we should respect and who we shouldn't. And for a lot of those cases, unfortunately, women are people that we don't think we should respect unless they are your mother or a family member. But to be real, somebody, if there is a lady there that you see, you've got to realize that she can be a mother, she can be someone's daughter, she can be a figure, she can be a person, she is a person. We have to keep in mind that we should respect them as we would respect ourselves. And doing this would undermine toxic masculinity and not necessarily make us a simp, because when you are a simp, you're bending over backwards to do it. In this case, you don't need to bend over backwards to respect a person. You just need to have good common decency.
That's fair.
CH, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Spit your stuff.
Okay, so I think what toxic masculinity has been doing has been creating a falsified alpha that basically empowers the male patriarchy in society and culture.
Right.
It's basically saying, because all men generally want to be an alpha. You think about an alpha when you think of the man getting what they want. They are this basic dude who has all the qualities that generally men would want in themselves. Okay? I see toxic masculinity working as it makes men think they have the real traits of an alpha, when in reality, it's just the traits of want to be beta, in a sense. They're playing themselves into thinking that they're going to get everything in life. They're going to be great, but they're not truly being great. See, an alpha doesn't need to prove he's an alpha to anyone else around him. An alpha is an alpha because he knows he is an alpha. Other people will see it. You don't tell people that you're a leader, you show them.
Right.
You don't tell people you're an alpha, you show them.
Right.
And so what I think toxic masculinity, has done is made people say, oh, I got all this. It's all on the surface, And what I noticed about the definition of simp is that it said that the person is not an alpha. But anyone can, in my opinion, generally anyone can become an alpha. It's a mentality. Working on yourself is one of the best things to do. If you're ever sad about relationships or in general, find your self-worth, understand what you have, what you can do. It's empowering. It's very empowering. But I think the generation of men, we haven't had the right examples of being men. You know, like I'm sure we've all heard the terms "men ain't,"
Yeah.
"these guys aren't."
Yeah.
We've heard it before, but separating yourself from being a man, calling yourself the man, you change your own definition of a man. I know I'm going everywhere right now with what I'm saying. I had a plan in my head and it's derailed. I'm not gonna lie. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that our current definitions of a man are twisted and basically toxic right now. For the household, for society and culture, we expect the worst from men when we should be expecting the most. Like how with dating, the expectation is so low right now. Women shouldn't be expecting that from men. Like a man shouldn't expect that from himself. Why are you being toxic and unfaithful when the point of dating is to find someone that you're going to love in the future?
Is that
why?
It is.
What was
Okay,
it?
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, sorry. It was. I don't know. If you guys are ever with me and I'm walking around, I can talk about this a lot better because I have these conversations with myself a lot and I'll write about them actively. But I don't know. I just think we need better examples. Like you were saying before, it's how we were raised, the environment that we were in, has kind of fostered this era of men, I think. But if we raise our children with better examples for the future, showing them what it actually means to be a man, not a toxic man, not a future of being a man. We show them what it means, what it looks like, not giving them disappointment, but giving them inspiration and hope. Showing them what strength looks like, whether that be from a man or a woman, understanding that it's fine to be equals. I'd say dating culture would fix itself. It would, in a sense, reverse. Men would be valuing themselves more. Women would understand their value more as well. I don't know. Culture is a big topic for me. I don't know.
I feel like at the same time, toxic masculinity is a mentality that you grow out of. Because when I view toxic masculinity, it's from like a high scale basis to like maybe late 20s, late 30s. Because that's when people are like trying to start their families, you feel me? And when you think about it, how many old heads do you see still got like a toxic masculinity type of mindset? Like think about it, like genuinely think about it. Like how many old people
I can think
do
of
you see that are still running around?
I can think of them, but those individuals don't have families. Like they're old heads, but they don't have families. Yeah.
They're still doing the same game that they was always doing while other people grew up.
So could you say that toxic masculinity has something to do with the immaturity of a man?
Yeah, that's literally what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a childish behavior that can be unlearned if you're willing to unlearn it.
Amen. That's what you got to do. Well, we can end it here. It's 51 minutes. I think that was very good. I think that was pretty good.
Okay.
I was gonna say self-analysis. Are you more toxic? Are you more of a simp,
bruh? Who wants to go first?
Me. I'm the avatar. I'm the balance. There are times where it's like I can consider myself not necessarily a simp, but very chivalrous in the sense that like I'm like, if you with me, we gonna have a good time. You feel me? Like I don't want you to stress. I'm all about good vibes, all of that. I'm like, we're just gonna have fun overall, and you're gonna be well respected because that's all I was ever taught to do. I feel like in ways I can be toxic in the sense that while I'm very carefree and very like not spiritual, but like my energy overall is like very positive. If you annoy me in a sense, I won't care. Like I'll start focusing more on me than I'll focus on like other people. Not to say that I'm like disregarding like your feelings or anything in that way. I become more self-centered on my own personal goals. You feel me? Not to push people away. It's just I think that's the one habit that I have. That and I'm I'm not very expressive with my emotions or how I feel. Like I'll blatantly lie to your face in terms of how I'm feeling,
Why?
like in terms of if I'm doing good or in terms of if I'm doing
Why
bad,
would you do
because I
that?
want to keep the peace. Yeah, I'm like I'll blatantly lie to your face. I'll be like, somebody will ask, "Hey Justin, are you good?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm good," but on the inside I feel like crap.
Brown
But
sugar, no.
hey, man, I'm like,
Men need to
I
be
don't
able
know
to
where I got
express.
that from,
They need.
but I've never felt the need to like talk to people besides this podcast. Like I feel like this is the one time where I'm like I actually tell people like how I'm feeling.
Men must be able to express themselves, sir. That's a part of the toxic masculinity mindset.
I
Get
told
out
you
of it.
that's why I'm
Get
toxic.
out of it.
I'm trying, man. It's hard. It's tough. I never really had a lot of people to depend on. You feel me? I've always felt like it was me against the world. And there was a quote that I take back from where it's like, if you're gonna go far, go together, and if you want to go fast, go alone. And I've always kind of picked the latter. You feel me?
I would rather go far.
I'd rather go fast. Life is short.
Dang, man.
Like, sure.
But I'd rather have a enjoyable life than a fast one that's not as enjoyable. Because even
I want to burn up in a fiery comment of
because even you
success.
can say that being alone can be boring sometimes.
Not really.
Man.
I mean, I'm
No.
chilling. I'm managing. Nah, I mean,
But what about you, Chasen? Are you more of a toxic masculinity person, or someone who derives from toxic masculinity, or are you a simp?
or were you a simp that was driven to toxic masculinity who was driven back to chivalry? There are pathways to it.
I would say that I'm similar to Justin. I see like the characteristics of both in me, but that's because I don't know. For me, I've always seen myself with having potential to be a lot worse than I am because I've seen a lot of toxic men around me. Like I've had friends who were toxic, so I know what it's like, and I legitimately know how to do what they do.
Hey, my bad, bro.
But no, I'm not gonna cap. I know how to do what they do. I just don't want to because my mom, I'm just like, I wouldn't want my sister to ever be around a man like that. I wouldn't want my mom to ever be around a man like that. So I'm just like, no, that's not what I want. Personally, if I had to say if I'm more chivalrous or more toxic, I would say I'm more chivalrous because I like a challenge in life. And so I've always chosen more of the harder thing to do. Chivalry is not easy. Like, I'm sure you all can agree. It's sometimes hard to be really chivalrous. It's sometimes hard to take the high road, but I think it's the more fulfilling choice at the end of the day. Like when you take that high road and make the, tough decision, it's gonna come back to it's gonna come back with good karma and good vibes at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I'm more chivalrous in that sense because that's what I want. I see myself as being like a knight. That's what I've wanted for a long time. I wanted to be. I've had that mentality. It's a little childish, but that mentality of being a knight, a hero, a king is what I've been driven by.
All right, let's go to: are you more toxic or are you more of a simp? CH, I already know the answer. You are more of a simp, bro. No, I'm just playing. You should.
Simp?
I see you.
I plead the fifth.
Oh,
I am not a simp.
Oh, what?
I said you chivalry,
No,
bro.
okay, that's hard to say, based upon people's perspective. Because I'd like to think of myself as a chivalrous person. I have an automatic. I am classically conditioned to open doors for people. I'm classically conditioned to make sure that people are feeling okay.
You open doors?
I'm classically conditioned to serving people that I care about. I'm just classically conditioned to do that. I've grown up in a church where I was an usher for most of my life. So that's just
Hey,
that's
right
like
on.
basic. I'm a doorkeeper for the house of the Lord. That's just basic. That's just in my mind. And I'd like to think that when I am with sorry, Jason just said Champurrado, low key, that meme where the guy yells, "I have no hose, Josh. Why do I have this reputation?" That is true. I do see myself in that light because I do try to treat everyone with a little bit of respect. Don't get me wrong. I have had my plunders. I have had my few cases of not doing what I need to do and being disrespectful. I have had that, but I can tell you this, that I have been more respectful than I have been disrespectful, and that I have cared about people and their ability to smile and to actually see me as a respectable person than for my own gain. Um, so when you say that, Jason, I do agree with that. I have this reputation where it's like where even some of my closest friends, like Brown Sugar, can say that, oh, you got hoes. Excuse the language. I don't like saying that word.
That's not true. I say you got wives and queens. Don't cap on my name. Think about it. Think
No,
about it.
man.
When was the last time I said
You're
that?
right. You're right. I have.
Exactly. I'd be like, bro, you got wives, dog.
No, there was a time. Hold on. There was a time where you said you could have all the hoes, but you looking for a queen.
Exactly. Boom.
It
That's smart. That's some real
it
knowledge,
is.
though.
It is. But yeah. So when it comes to being a simp or having toxic masculinity, I'd like to think of myself more towards the simp side, but not a complete simp, but enough of a simp to be considered chivalrous. I mean, hey, look, if opening doors for women and making sure that they're comfortable is a simp, then I am a simp. But if not,
Okay, I'll be a
hey,
simp
look,
too.
I won't bend over backwards. There you go. I will not bend over. I will not bend over backwards, so somebody can be comfortable, so somebody can demean me. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that it's more important to show myself respect, and I think it's more important for myself to realize that I am worth I am worth so much, and I shouldn't settle for the bare minimum.
Right on.
And I think that concludes with today's session. Yeah.
Jason Green, thank you for being a part
Thank
of
you,
the
man.
show, man. How does it feel?
Yes, sir. Y'all keep up the good work. This podcast is really good.
Thanks for listening to the podcast and kicking it in the kitchen. Hope to be cooking with you next week for another topic. This is Brown Sugar and
Champurrado.
signing off. Stay greasy.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and catch us in the kitchen weekly. If you like this podcast, let us know in the comments below. And don't be afraid to drop a like. You won't get burned. Adios.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lit. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're done.
We're good. Woo!